Oh, there we go. Hello? I think we're live. All right. Let's see here. I have no clue what I am doing. Ah! All right. This is pretty cool. I will say it's been quite some time since I have streamed. I used to stream video games a lot back in my old days. I hope everybody can hear me okay. I know it looks like there are two people currently in the live stream. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Love to see how some of the chats come through and look. Right, let me know where you're from, who you may be. Happy to have anybody here that we can talk to and navigate through anything Copilot specific within our first stream of this channel. Mike, what's up? Thanks for joining. Glad to have you here. So let me know if the audio's okay, if you can hear me okay, if you can see the screen and everything all right. You know, I work for Microsoft. I'm so used to Teams meetings, and I really know how all the Teams meeting functionality works. But you get into a different platform. We're gonna take little baby steps at a time. So I figure, for a first stream for this channel, we're gonna keep it really light. We're gonna talk, to some of my experience, so I can let everybody know, where I come from, what my background is, and we'll talk to anything Copilot specific, maybe some opinions, any new updates coming out that I don't have video content on, and of course, answer any questions that you may have. So let's see here. I see TH here as well. I'm planning a Disney trip soon and like to know how I can use Copilot to help plan my trip to run smoothly. TH, it's actually really funny that you mentioned planning a Disney trip. I will say my wife and I are actually going to be going to Disney here in November. November. She's actually going through all the planning right now. So I will say, right, maybe we can do a little prompting and talk to Copilot a little bit. But one thing I will want to maybe lean on a little bit when it comes to that experience is my wife, right? Maybe I can get her to talk to some of the best practices and things that she learned. She's not a technology person. She does not work with, AI and Copilot or anything like that, though I have, worked with her a little bit to try to get her to use it and streamline some of what she does. So maybe she can, add a little bit in there too. So, let's see here. Mike says, cool, been following as our insurance agency slowly embraces Copilot. Audio is great. I'm on my phone, on my deck. Hey, hopefully you're experiencing some nice evening weather there, Mike. Hopefully, I can share information here to assist all of you with navigating through. Of course, if there are any, particular key questions, things like that you have experience-wise, let me know. Always happy to share. And I will say there actually is some changes most likely going to happen here in the not so distant future, maybe tomorrow. So I'll get into that a little bit, but for all of you currently here, let me maybe talk to my experience. I really don't have the opportunity to explain who I am, right? When it comes to these YouTube videos, I do a lot of, pre-recording and editing. I'm still learning. I'm not a video editor, really. This channel is my first sort of iteration getting into video editing. I'm not doing the fancy stuff. I don't know how to do really cool transitions and animations, things like that. Maybe in the future, as we keep going forward. But I, myself, I've been working with Microsoft products since pretty much a little bit before college, right? Of course, we all worked with, the productivity suite, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, various iterations, through school. It's actually really cool. Back when I was in high school, I actually had the opportunity to work with Microsoft Front Page. It was my first experience with working within like a web technology, creating websites, so to say. And it's actually pretty funny because Front Page, and eventually, to my awareness, became SharePoint, right? So I worked with Front Page for a while, then went through college, got an information systems degree, and of course, out of college, I started working for the local energy utility in my local area. I'm not really going to go through like location specifics or anything like that, but I started within SharePoint. So SharePoint 2007 was my main service of support for many years and a variety of versions after that point. And then, of course, I landed an awesome job with Microsoft. I've been with the Microsoft organization since around spring of 2019. I did a lot of SharePoint focused work until Copilot came out. I've worked with many large enterprise customers, Fortune 500 enterprise customers, even customers that have over 1 million employees at this current point. And so I have a varying level of experience when it comes to focusing on the collaboration suite, SharePoint, OneDrive, Viva, specifically areas like Viva Connections and Viva Engage. And then now, of course, the main focus for our channel and what I do in my work, which is Microsoft 365 Copilot. And I will say I'll never look back. Honestly, around the time of transition, when I started working with Copilot and stopped working with SharePoint, I was starting to feel the job lag, so to say. I wasn't really enjoying what I was doing. I was having a lot of trouble getting into my work and really feeling it. Sometimes you have to be really passionate about those areas of focus that are important to you if you really want to do a good job. And Copilot honestly came out really at the best time. I look back at that initial experience that I had. I gained access to Copilot around June, July of 2023, a few months prior to it actually being available to all enterprise customers today. And I'll let all of you know I didn't have any AI experience. I didn't really work with ChatGPT at all. I didn't even know what ChatGPT was at the time. And I got access to this product. I played around with it a little bit, and most likely, like many people that don't have any guidance or recommendations of how to use AI initially, I gave up on it. I actually did not like using Copilot in its initial stages. It did hallucinate a lot more. I didn't know how to prompt or talk to it. I wasn't used to it. And, just let it go. So I had it for a few months, didn't really use it at all. And then finally, I had someone that I met with internal at Microsoft that worked with more of this technology, gave me some pointers, tips, tricks, showed me a few use cases, and really it was off to the races after that point. And so I've been working with this particular product since its initial general availability. I was one of the first line movers working within, and I'm not like an expert prompter, right? I don't really, get really detailed and, prompt engineering and all this good stuff. But what I do really well is I understand what it can do, and I can explain how to navigate through that process and how to either form single or multi-stage prompts to get you from point A to point B. And really that's my goal with this channel. So really happy that the channel has grown as much as it has. I started this in April timeframe, somewhere around April. And here we are in August, over 4,000 subscribers to the channel. I never thought I would see the day. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for your support. The support that I see, the comments that I see, I love replying to anybody in this community that needs any particular assistance. I'm truly here to help. That is my passion. I want to help everybody understand how to save time, how to reduce stress, how to get more value and visibility in your work to then move forward faster within your career and really align more towards what you are passionate about. That's what I want to do. So, looking at the chat here, let's see. It says, Mike here says, I built a Copilot in Copilot Studio, 100% following along with the Copilot agent. A simple Copilot that watched my inbox for email from a certain center with a certain subjects and such. So, let me talk to the experience for Copilot Studio there a little bit, Mike. That is actually an area that I'm getting into more. My work experience, I really haven't had the opportunity as of yet to get more into the low code power platform side of the house. My focus, I'm in what we call modern work. I focus with the main core functionalities built into Microsoft 365 Copilot as a part of that $30 license. However, I am trying to expand my horizons. So my hope is that as I learn more, I'm able to provide more videos that I can either, again, post publicly or even talk to on live streams about Copilot Studio, because I will tell all of you agents are the future. the way that agents are going to work and function as like a team for you, or possibly even your own digital organization of people, right? Not really people, but these AI representatives, these agents, and what they do is going to become more pronounced as we continue. I know, for example, Copilot Studio, you now have the ability to build a multi agent system. It's something that I would love to talk to, but I'm just not knowledgeable yet. I'll be open and honest. I'm not knowledgeable yet to talk to that in like a video to educate everybody. So more to come as we learn and as I learn and am able to get more information out to just help out everybody. So while also saving a copy of the SPO document library, I have $30 Copilot license or global admin. Will there be some premium license I need to deploy that Copilot? I'm not aware of any premium licensing for that, Mike. You shouldn't have to worry about that. Really, it would depend on, to my current awareness, your agent governance policies that your organization, your administrators have in place to make certain agents available. They do need to be published. So here I'll just show you all. This is the backend administration center. And so we do have, and this is great for anyone that's not an admin, by the way. If you've never seen the backend Microsoft 365 administration center, certain key features and functionality in here are available to you dependent on your administrative role. So I'm what we call a global admin. Of course, I have access to every, feature, functionality, service that exists in Microsoft 365. We do have a dedicated Copilot section. This is what provides you what we call the Copilot control system. And so inside of here, this is a brand new update. It used to be that you would access your agents via, I don't even know if it's here anymore. Let's show all here really quickly. And my camera might be blocking this, so I might open that up a little bit. Let's scroll up here. So under the settings and integrated apps area of the administration center, yeah, you can see that. That's where you would access your agents, or your admins would, and they could deploy them out, make them available. New update, right? So agents are now in the Copilot control system. I can see my full agent inventory. I can filter. I can see like custom agents, shared agents across my org, anything built by Microsoft or maybe from external parties as well. We have different types of agents, availability of those agents, and what particular service they may be supported within. So a great example is, I have not under custom, but under shared, these two agents that I've directly built. I built these with Agent Builder directly inside of Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. The work chat experience where I can go in here and just click on Create and Agent. You can share agents out with your colleagues and your peers through there manually on your own. So that is something available. But I still have yet to look through the entirety of the publishing process in here. You can get some details and things like that, but it doesn't look like the same publishing options are yet in this experience. Let's actually go to integrated apps. Check out the integrated apps section. If I go to available apps and I filter down here, is it gonna load for me today? Let's see if it loads for me today. There we go. And if I go to my filter, do I have the Copilot option still? I do have host products as Copilot. Let's see that. I don't see my content analyzer. Let's see if analyzer shows up. It doesn't show up in here. So again, somewhere else that I need to still work through and learn a little bit more about. I'll get more information out there for everyone because agents are a specific area that I want to focus from the admin side too. So more to come. I'll be honest with any knowledge area that I don't really know. Right? I think that's very important for the sake of transparency. I'm not going to BS anyone. Right? So more to come, as they say. But yeah, Mike, there shouldn't be any additional cost to deploy those agents out and make them available across your organization. Paul as well. Hey, Paul, welcome. Glad to have you here. I see your chat here in the chat. When you upload a file into Copilot Chat for the unlicensed version, what from the file is sent to Bing with web grounding? Nothing sent to Bing, Paul. Nothing. So this is actually a great area of conversation when it comes to, let's see here, how Copilot works. Let's see if I can find the particular article. Yes, I'm doing a web search. Right? Sometimes I do a web search because I know exactly where things are, so I know Copilot's not going to give it to me, and plus images. This provides me some imagery and such. So when we look at, there should be a particular dialogue here. Let's see. Okay, well, we can just adhere to this one. All right, so this is the architecture of the licensed version, right? But the same form of functionality or architecture still applies to Copilot Chat. When you upload a file directly into Copilot Chat experiences, that file is centrally stored in your tenant. So this white box that you see here within this image, let me blow it up a little bit more, right? So you have the Microsoft Graph, that's our API endpoint solution to access all of that rich work data. That's directly what Copilot orchestrates across all of its functionality to ground within your work data and pull data back. So when you're using the web version of Copilot and you upload a file, you're actually uploading that file directly to your OneDrive. Do I have, yeah, so you'll have this dedicated folder in your OneDrive. It's called Microsoft Copilot Chat Files. Okay, so as you're navigating through that particular experience, let me go back here. It's being pulled from your tenant and it stays within this service trust boundary. So nothing is directly leaving the service trust boundary. The only thing that does leave the service trust boundary are any key search terms aligned within your prompt or the content that Copilot pulls from. So like, for example, your entire document is not being, sent across into the Bing search service APIs to pull web data. It's only portions that you call out via your prompt. And the way I think about it is this. Before AI, how would you knowledgeably think of doing a web search? You have a topic that you want to research or a process that you're working through and you need information on the public web. How would you navigate that? Well, you take that mental information and you break it down into key search terms, right? So you go through and you say, oh, I need to get some updates on Copilot Studio, as an example, and you have that in your mind. Well, now what AI does is when it looks at your prompt, it breaks down your prompt into those key search terms for you. So it takes that mental workload and it shifts it over into the AI experience. And it uses those key search terms to then go out, pull data from the internet back into that service trust boundary, this blue box that we see here, and everything is contained within that service trust boundary. So you can live with peace of mind knowing that any of the data that you're actively working with is centrally filtered down into key search terms, whether it's in your prompt or possibly information pulled from the file. Nothing with the entirety of the file ever leaves your service trust boundary. So you can live with that safety and security peace of mind. So hopefully, Paul, that helps out a little bit with your question there. Data from a file. Yeah. So again, example, Paul, from that second conversation or chat message that you have there, data from the file could be sent. What it means by that is it is looking at that file data. So let's see here. Let's go into the web chat experience. I have a license applied with this account, right? And I will add content directly in here, and I could say, let's upload a file from my local device. Do I have a document on here that I can pull from? Let's see. YouTube creative ideas. Let's see if this one works. Okay, so I have this YouTube creative ideas document. Let me see what's in here. Yeah, just some ideas for things. This is for, yeah, okay. So I ran another YouTube channel for a while. I did a lot of stuff with Pokemon. I'm a big Pokemon fan. So, but that's personal, not really in relation to our conversation for today. So when I upload this file directly from my local device, you already see that it's directly, how should I say, uploaded to my OneDrive, right? So we see that via the notice that's right here. And I can say something along the lines of, leverage the information in this file to search the public web and provide me modern trends for creative ideas for new content I can post on YouTube. So it's almost like I'm using that document as knowledge. But again, the entirety of the file is not sent across to the public web. What Copilot is going to do is it's going to take all that data, just like we in our brain would take all the data that we have, and we would summarize it down to key search terms that we then go and search the public web on. So what I should see is I should see the key search terms pop up. It'll be really quick, right? So let's go ahead and send this off and let's see what it does here. Look right around here where there are modern trends for Pokemon themed content. That's the key search term right there. That's exactly what's going out to Bing, right? Now we see, again, it's giving us some output. So again, we don't really have to worry about this form of output, just a sample document. And let's hope, right? Copilot sometimes makes me a liar because the experiences change all the time. If we look at our citations, so these are the, of course, web references that it's pulled from via being searched based on those key search terms. But does it give me the search terms? Lots of stuff in here. It looks like they've changed it a little bit. For a while there, we were actually providing what those search terms were within the response results, where those citations and source data is. I don't see it for some reason here. It actually looks like we're taking a lot more data types too. Like I see a bunch of YouTube videos and such in here now as well. So this experience, y'all are going to understand, is really changing very quickly. So just something to consider, as you go through and you ideate a little bit and think, but again, you don't have to worry. You can live with peace of mind that data stays in your environment. And also from a security perspective, if your security administrators, compliance administrators have, purview, sensitivity labels, data loss prevention applied, that now all directly adheres to content in Copilot. So, if you can't get to it based on certain sensitivity, Copilot can't either. So some things to consider there. Okay. Paul, great question. Thank you very much for posting that. I do appreciate it. Rini, glad to have you here. Thank you for posting. If I apologize if I, mispronounce any names or anything like that. But why would someone want to build a custom agent versus a declarative agent? Okay. So again, I have a little bit of lack of knowledge on the agent side with certain custom creation-based experiences, but let me at least talk to what I do know. So declarative agents are those custom agent scenarios you can build either in SharePoint as a SharePoint agent or via Agent Builder here on the left with the Create an Agent option, which does directly correlate and go into Copilot Studio. You can see that up here, but it's more of like a base agent builder, natural language, base fields, not really much else that you can do with it. You can align to knowledge and such as well, right? More custom agents, that's where you go into Copilot Studio specifically or leverage pro code solutions. So when it comes to that scenario, you have more bells and whistles, really is the way I look at it. You can add additional actions. Like if I want the agent to take some form of data and then draft and send that data in an email, or create a document, or send a notification to Teams. Now, whatever those core actions are that we can build in via connectors in our agents, that's additional functionality that you can build inside of a Copilot Studio custom agent. You can also do other things like use your own orchestrators, select individual or different LLMs as a part of Copilot Studio agents, more custom agent scenarios. You have more bells and whistles at your disposal. This is also where you can build things like autonomous agents that run in the background and do things for you as well. Maybe it scans your email over a 24-hour period and identifies sales leads and then generates a report for you. It sends in an email back every single day of what those sales leads are. I don't know. I'm just ideating here as I continue forward, right? Rini, hopefully that helps out a little bit here. Again, I am still working through becoming more knowledgeable in all of these experiences. Some of you are probably more knowledgeable than I am on custom agent scenarios. So again, I'm going to be very transparent with everybody. 1 second here. I'm going to get a quick drink of water. All right. Great option so far here. So another chat here from Rini. I've noticed that when uploading a file to Copilot Chat works better than using the slash feature and inputting a link from OneDrive and SharePoint. Let me see about that. So you're talking about uploading a file. Let's go in here. So are you talking about, Rini, let me know specifically in the chat. Are you talking about using the upload from this device option, or are you talking about, attaching cloud files? Sorry, I'm not in work chat. All right, what am I doing? Add content here. So you can upload in here too. You can add cloud files. Which of these particular options upload from this device? Okay, so consider it like this. Upload from this device currently allows you to leverage, it's probably not going to show on my screen. If I click on this, it opens up your Windows File Explorer, right? So you're searching within your local file system, and most likely you understand more of the file system you have on your local device, right? When it comes to Microsoft 365 content storage experiences, such as, again, if I go in here and I add content and click on the attach cloud files, which is like a web version of File Explorer. Things are scattered everywhere. Everywhere. So, especially now these days, because think about there's so many new ways that you can create content with Copilot. A lot of content, I'll tell you, if you look at my OneDrive, let's look at my OneDrive. Look at all these documents. I have some folders here. Like, look at all these documents that are now like presentation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, I have all these documents that are now at the root level of my OneDrive, all kinds of different file names. And, it's hard these days to find a file because we're really looking based on file name, file type, and they're just located everywhere. SharePoint sites, OneDrives, other people's OneDrives that may have been shared to us with access to that file. So I can see uploading from your own device, you have more experience, expertise, you know more of where those files are as compared to like if I use the slash, or this is what we call context IQ. This reference files menu and does have that naming convention. Maybe it changes in the future. It's getting better, but it still aligns to like file name. You have to know the file name, right? So like if I wanted to, find a file, I type in here project, and of course like Project Falcon comes up, but it could be any file that, includes the word project. Like here's a Copilot page. Create a comprehensive report on the latest advancements in Project Falcon, right? So there's so much content that we're now generating, it becomes more difficult to find. So what I'm going to recommend to you as a part of this like file finding experience with context IQ or referencing, you have to really know the naming conventions and name very well. Come up with your own system, whatever works specifically for you, especially if it's in relation to like OneDrive files, personal files, things of that nature. Hopefully, again, that helps a little bit. But all in all we're doing in these scenarios, whether we're uploading from our device or we're attaching by the slash reference or the add content option here in context IQ, we're sending that data over to the LLM. Going back to the architecture. All of that data exists in your tenant. This white box right here. Anytime you reference a file, you upload a file to be used, or you use that context IQ experience, when that file is attached to your prompt, that prompt navigates through the orchestrator right here and goes over, can you see my mouse? I think you can see my mouse. Over to where step 3 says Azure OpenAI services. So we send like the reference textual data and information from that file to a dedicated instance of an Azure OpenAI LLM. In this case, GPT-4o is the main LLM that we leverage for Microsoft 365 Copilot experiences, unless you're using agents like Researcher or Analyst. Researcher currently uses O1 for reasoning, and Analyst uses a custom version of O3 Mini for analyzing data. So it's sending all that textual-based information, material that Copilot can align to the LLM. It processes material, goes back across to the orchestrator, goes through more responsible AI controls, and then you get your response back. So finding files can be very difficult. I understand it's a lot of naming conventions. I expect more of this to become easier over time. The one thing I will say has gotten better, as I've noticed, I use Copilot every day. And I've noticed that as I start to reference more files or create more files with Copilot, it's for a particular purpose. Like I'll chat with Researcher, I'll get a knowledge guide on a topic, I'll send it to a Copilot page, I'll then send that to a Word document. That Word document is saved in the root location of my OneDrive. My purpose at the end is really to generate a presentation. So I'll reference that document to go into my presentation. Any of that recent content is now in the very beginning. You see like, about an hour ago, or here's a meeting that happened last Friday for my team. Here's what I opened 5 days ago, back on July 19th. It starts to, sort of intermix as you go lower, but your more recently accessed open files or created files are going to be in the very beginning. So I'm usually attaching that content because I'm actively using it in some form of work process in conjunction with Copilot to, again, make it a little bit easier. So, okay. Lots of different things, right? Lots of different things to go through. I hope that this information is valuable so far, right? Still trying to figure out all the YouTube streaming stuff. I used to stream on Twitch. I was a Twitch streamer. I love streaming my video games. I play a lot of Sea of Thieves. I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft and such as well. A little bit different these days, talking about Copilot and work-based experiences. So I don't know, maybe we'll get back in. I'm a family man. I have two small children. Love being with my family as much as I can. So I don't really get the time to live stream like I used to before I had kids. Oh, let's see here. Let's go through the chats a little bit more. Um, Paul, I'm going to go back to your previous one. You're focused on sensitive data. Sensitive data will not be aggregated across. I know there is an article in here. Um, it does explain how Copilot navigates through the overall web grounding experience. Maybe I should make a video on that. I don't see where that might be in here. Let's ask Copilot. Let's ask Copilot. 1 second here, everyone. Can I use my microphone? Oh, I wonder if I'm live streaming, if it won't let me use the dictation feature. Oh, no, there we go. Hey, Copilot, I want you to search the public web, and I'm trying to find information on how Microsoft 365 Copilot grounds against web data and how it pulls information out of documents and your prompts and forms the particular keyword search that is leveraged. I think this is a part of some of our enterprise grounding or enterprise data protection information, but I just can't find it on the public web, so please try to find it for me. Okay. Let's just see what it gives us, right? I've learned over time, you don't really have to be, maybe it gives us something, maybe it doesn't, right? I've learned over time that um, sometimes it can be really spot on if you're naturally just navigating through a conversation like this. Sometimes it might be completely off. So, let's see. Yes, we know how web grounding works. Where's this being pulled from, though? Enterprise data protection, data privacy, security. Let's go into these articles. Let's actually go into these and see what's in here really quickly. Because I know there is an article somewhere in here that talks to how Copilot actively works through key search terms. If I can't find it, I'll post it in some form in future videos. But I know it's out here. We update our documentation so much these days, it's even hard for Copilot to find it in our document. I don't see it in here. Look at these articles down here. Let's go back to that how Copilot works article. See if it's in here. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look around. Paul, I'll see if I can find it. I'll have to say, trust me, bro, right now. But I know there's an article. I promise. I promise there's something out here that explains this in a lot of technical detail. So I'll look for it. I'll see if we can find it and we can talk to that maybe in a future live stream. Okay. If you find it as well, please let me know. All right. Let's see. Moving on. Paul, going to another question here. Licensed users are creating agents through Basic Agent Builder. Users want to share what they created and have Copilot create a link to the Copilot. We send those links to users. They aren't working for the user clicking on the link. No bug. Interesting. Are you? All I would ask, a little bit more. Are you receiving some form of like error message or anything along those lines? Usually the way I've seen this happen, I have seen some issues with the sharing experience in the past with some of my enterprise customers. What I've navigated through before, after you publish the agent, you have to at least publish first. And I'm assuming in this scenario, I know I probably shouldn't assume, but I'm assuming that you have published these agents. So you can't share an unpublished agent to my current awareness. But once you publish, you should have the ability to just click on the share dialog next to the agent or in the agent builder experience and send this direct hyperlink out to those people, right? And they should then be able to open that agent up within their core experience to then chat with that agent. Of course, always be cautious. The built-in knowledge, you still have security permissions based on where the files are coming from built into the agent, so if people don't have access to the underlying files, say in SharePoint or OneDrive, they're not going to access the files via the agent either, right? Something to consider. But you should be able to share in this core scenario. Paul, what I'll say is, if this doesn't work, I would recommend navigate through your current, I don't know if your organization has like an enterprise contract or a unified contract, anything along those lines. Go through the support services that are available. Maybe that'll help out. We are right-clicking the agent on the left nav bar and clicking share when we see the issue. Interesting. Yeah, so if you see the agent on the left side nav, it should be published. So I can't quite say. I don't know why you might be experiencing that at this point. I would say have some type of support case open with your Microsoft support team to see if you can navigate through what might be happening in that scenario. The last time I dealt with this, I have dealt with this with one other customer. We hopped on a call and they were going to show me the error and it worked. So I don't know if we would have to have a call and, me being there and looking at it, it's like, oh no, Nick's here. I got to make sure that I work correctly in front of the expert, or I don't want to get lost in the void as an AI might think. So I would recommend working with your Microsoft support team. Okay, so hopefully that'll help out a little bit there. Let's see here. I tend to label files with certain symbols and such to help finding. Yeah, so Rini, I could see that being an example of navigating through files to make it easier for you in your personal experience. But always consider, Context IQ, it's going to pull in other files across your organization. Files that are shared with you, files in other people's OneDrive experiences, or SharePoint sites that you collaborate on with other people. So that's the unfortunate side, and probably why a portion of that is harder to find files. The one update, is it here? Let me see. Hold on, actually not this one. Let me see if it's, I don't want to chat with an agent. Let me just do the slash. Wait, what's going on? Oh, it's because I'm in web. That's why. I need to look at the toggles. Add content. Okay, so not in the system yet, but should be coming out in the not so distant future. Should be some additional filters. So there should be some like drop down filters here. I believe it's based on like file type is going to be one of them. Can't remember what the other filter is off the top of my head. I know file type is one. Make it easier to filter down that listing of files in Context IQ to be like a core list of files that would be relevant to you based on the file type that you may know or be aware of. Something else to consider. So we're adding more, and again, you have the search experience now, which we didn't have before. Stuff popping up on my screen. So, okay. Prasad here. Hey, Prasad, what's up? Welcome. How to set up email classification using Copilot in Outlook. So, this is very intriguing to me, and actually brings up a great topic of conversation as well. After that, I'm going to share some other updates to talk with all of you, because I know we're getting, time flies when you're having fun here, I guess. Let's go into Outlook, because there have been some changes, and there's going to continue to be some changes as we sort of make certain Copilot experiences available across the user space. I themed my Outlook experience with Copilot today. You see a nice Chicago theme here. So there's something that has changed in Outlook, and that comes along with the Copilot chat experience. And what I mean by that is if I click on Copilot here in the ribbon bar, I get this right side navigation, right? And you'll see this chat pane looks different than it did just a month ago, right? I don't have any other options here yet, so I'm expecting this to change again. It actually looks like in Outlook we've lost some functionality. So a change that's going to be coming out here over the next month, we're actually going to be making Copilot Chat, this same chat experience, available for unlicensed users within productivity apps. Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. I think maybe OneNote as well. So now an unlicensed user could talk to Copilot when they're directly in their file in Word or in their presentation in Outlook. And it can give you data about that file that you have open. Of course, it still doesn't have access to the work-grounded data because you don't have a license, so you can't search for enterprise data within that experience, and you cannot invoke app skills. Things like add a slide to this presentation, or insert this text into my document, things of that nature. Okay. So with this change coming out, it seems that there's been a loss of functionality, and Outlook is one of the initial culprits within this experience. When we talk about classification within Outlook with Copilot, that's actually not possible anymore. It used to be we could set our out-of-office messages, we could create email rules, we could set up classification labels to be automatically applied to our email based on certain areas like subject matter, keywords, things of that nature. That's actually not here anymore. Like if I go in here and I say, set my out-of-office message through Friday this week, indicating I am on vacation. I can't directly set your out-of-office message. So This is a blessing and a curse of AI within Microsoft 365. I've seen this happen on countless occasions over the last 2 years. As we make changes in the underlying large language models or experiences, there could be either a loss or degradation of features within certain apps or chat experiences. A great example of that is back in the spring when we were upgrading from GPT 4.5 Turbo, I believe it was, to GPT 4o as our main default LLM. We lost like the dictation feature, the microphone, the voice and speech options. Those were removed. Actually, I think some of the image creation options were initially removed for a little bit as well, if I recall, or limited. And then they were brought back in later on. We're going to see this happen actually here over the coming months. So just word of caution for all of you. You're going to see some changes. Let's actually go to Word. I'm wondering if Word actually has some of this yet. Word does not. So in this demo environment, I think it actually starts rolling out here mid-August. You're going to have 2 chats in your app experience for a while. I'm going to make a video on this probably in the not so distant future. Within your chat experience, you'll have Copilot Chat as one option and App Skills as another. From what I've seen, it's like a drop down. I have a little drop down here in my Copilot icon, and I can click on Copilot Chat or App Skills. And so like app skills would be available for licensed users to invoke app skills to then do something in their document or their presentation. Unlicensed users wouldn't have that, so they'll be defaulted to Copilot Chat. And they could talk to Copilot about the data in that file. They could talk to Copilot about data on the public web or data that the AI is trained on. So lots of experience changes coming. I know it's confusing. I know. I'm confused too. I'm in the same jungle of change that all of you are. And again, one of my goals is to make sure that I disseminate this information as clearly as I can, and of course, demonstrate and show once I have this information and the material available to make it easier for all of you to understand. I know it's pretty hard right now, especially because we call everything Copilot, right? What's the difference between Copilot Chat, licensed, free? I don't know. So the brand is still evolving, right? We're going to keep making changes. It's going to continue to innovate, and I guarantee the pace of change is going to continue. I'll keep providing as much information as I can. So I hope at least a little bit of what I've just indicated, a lot of stuff, right? But at least you can glean some of that information, help to, again, wrinkle out or iron out some of the wrinkles, so they say. So hopefully we'll be able to navigate through some of that as we get more information. Okay. Now, I do want to go through. I know there have been a few additional chats here. Love the engagement. By the way, again, thank you all for being here. I see we have about 14 people here. I've seen it ebbed and flowed. Love all of you, right? This is great. I really enjoy doing things like this. I do this every day with enterprise customers. Now I get to actually build more community with people out in the public, which I think is really cool. Let's talk about some changes, things that are happening in the AI space that I think are going to have an impact on Copilot. So I still don't know anything, but I'm gleaning based on public information. I can't share, of course, anything internal to Microsoft, and I never will. As a part of these live streams, I have to only show what is directly available in public spaces, right? So don't try to say, hey, Nick, when is, AGI going to come out? I don't know, and even if I did, I couldn't tell you until Microsoft says something. So something I can talk about, you may have heard some rumblings. There's been some updates this week from OpenAI. And for those that may be unaware, Microsoft directly partners with OpenAI to leverage these same foundational large language models for Copilot experiences. Of course, they're going to always be a little bit ahead. They are the main provider of ChatGPT, and they will always have access to the latest and greatest in real time as they integrate that into ChatGPT. Microsoft, of course, has to adhere to particular security, privacy, product terms that we commit to for our enterprise customers. That's why you see things like responsible AI built in, not as much personalization, not as much like language. We have more content safety built in as well, like inappropriate language, negativity, things like that don't really work with Copilot, which I know is a big downer for a lot of people in today's experience. I understand. Tomorrow, there's a live stream that OpenAI is hosting, and it appears that we might be hearing something about GPT-5. So I've been hearing rumblings all of this week. I know that OpenAI has released some initial I think it's like operating system level large language models that could run more on local devices at a GPT-5 grade level. I still don't understand everything. I'm still trying to consume more. But look at this, right? Look, we got a live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Also, I'm a frequent Reddit user, but of course, sake of transparency, I don't read Reddit comments. I'm not a big fan, and of course, I question everything. Saw this. Some indication that some of the GPT-5 logos and such have been uploaded to possibly some, public CDNs that OpenAI directly provides. So all pointers for tomorrow are pointing to GPT-5. I did also see this post on a rumor because it looks like some of our, and I'll also again be transparent, I don't really work with the commercial side of Copilot. What I mean by that is, Copilot is available for free for all of you within personal subscriptions. You could be logged in with like an Outlook account, for example. And I don't really work with that at all. I only work with enterprise grade Copilot experiences. But it does appear like there's like a smart mode that might be coming out, and that might have some indication of GPT-5, being included within Copilot experiences here very soon as well. So I'm wondering if we're going to have an announcement tomorrow from both OpenAI and Microsoft for GPT-5 integration within, of course, ChatGPT as well as Copilot. So this is all, up in the air. I don't know for sure. It's we'll see. We'll see what they say. I'll watch what happens with Microsoft, and definitely, I'm sure if Microsoft doesn't say anything, almost guaranteed GPT-5 will eventually be coming to Copilot, but it's probably going to take a little bit more time for the enterprise side of the house because we have to adhere to more of that, again, enterprise grade security, privacy, product terms and commitments, contractual obligations we have with our customers. So some things to consider there. So I thought that was pretty cool, right? Something to consider as we talk through moving into the future, right? I'm really excited to see what capabilities may come out within those core experiences. Okay. So let's go back to the chat here. Let me get it really quick. Let's see. Paul, thanks for all your work with all your content creation. Hey, Paul, I appreciate that. I don't know. Do you like the content so far? Right. I'm still trying to look. I made like a little rainbow banner, like a border around my video. I branded a little bit more. I'm figuring things out as I go, everybody. Right. So trying to make it a little bit better, but I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that does all kinds of different fancy things and doesn't really get to the meat of what we need to. I want to try to give you as much as I can that is real information to help you out. So I don't know. Maybe that'll change as we continue forward and I learn more about video editing and such, but I'm not good at video editing. So let's see here. Reading in notebooks, is there like a place where the audio overviews are saved? Not to my current awareness. Let's go in here. Let's see. Let's generate this audio. Actually, I do believe yes. OneDrive. OneDrive. Hold on. Let's see what it gives me. So it's combing through all my info. The reason why I believe it's OneDrive is because I have created an audio overview of this exact same, I believe it's this notebook, before. It might have been a document. I'm wondering if it was one of my Word documents. Because you can also, let's see here, let's open up a Word document as well. One of my files, current work summary for Project Falcon. And if we go to the summary part at the top here, where's it at? It's not there. Not in my demo environment now? What, did we remove it? It should be there. Get audio summary. See, well, here it is in the prompt box. Generate an audio summary from this document. So let's run that too. That going. You're not going to hear the audio. I don't have audio from my PC set up for the stream. I don't want random noise coming out of nowhere. Go back to the notebooks. It's still generating over here. So let's see what happens. But the reason why I think this is possible is because I do have an audio file that I've... here we go. Let's see. Keep to listen again. Keep it. Couldn't be kept because the content contains sensitive information. Interesting. Okay. Well, don't know why that happened, but if we go in here and I go into Project Falcon, yeah, see right here. Looks like I created it for marketing guide. Oh, I created on the marketing guidelines document. That's why. Pause this. See, so it's in Word. It's in Word, but it does look like the Keep It button. My expectation would be the Keep It button would save the file to your OneDrive as well. I don't see why it wouldn't. But you can save to OneDrive in Word if you're focused on particular core or key documents too. Something to consider. Trying to think if there's anything else audio related. There's one other audio. It's not here yet. You're also going to get audio summaries against, at least to my awareness, I think it's Word documents and PDFs in OneDrive. So Copilot's in OneDrive, by the way. But we don't have audio summaries directly in here yet. So you can see I can summarize, create a facts document, ask questions as well. If I select multiple files, I can do file comparison, compare files too. But we don't have the audio options. More audio options are coming out within OneDrive. The ability to use more of our senses, right? Vision, voice, textual-based information. We want to include all of these different aspects that make us human into AI experiences to allow you to work in the way that you see fit. More to come. As we always say, the innovation just doesn't stop. It's crazy seeing how rapidly, how fast this is changing, right? All right, let's see here. Want to have an agent with a single document knowledge that gets deployed to all users. What is the best way to do that? Paul, I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. Some of the agent publishing stuff, again, I really haven't worked through as much of that. My thought process initially was you'd have to have admins directly do this via the agents section. However, it is odd to me because like these are custom agents that I've created. I don't have the option to publish. I don't know why. So I thought there would be an option like previously in the integrated apps section, we could deploy an agent out to our org to make it available. I feel like there's something else in here that I haven't configured yet, and I just haven't looked into it. So, Paul, I'll work on getting back to you on some of that information. It's, again, something that I want to learn more about, so great question there. I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. Let's see here. If I have a job description template and a file with information I would like merged, how can I prompt to use one file with things like a list of essential duties to only change the essential duties? Mark, what's up? Great question. So actually, this is something that I like to do all the time. I'm a big advocate of leveraging templates in Copilot experiences. So let's do this. Let's create a new document. I would have actually had this use case example already ready to go. And unfortunately, I lost my demo tenant. My original one. So this is a brand new one, and I don't have any of my original documents. Honestly, sad day that happened last week. So I'll say draft a job description template with fillable fields using modern job description best practices. Is it going to give me prompt suggestions? Have we removed that? I guess we have. Let's just see what it gives us first. Okay. So if you have any form of structured work, like certain documents, content, things like that, I love to try to create templates. I don't, this is interesting. I've never seen it create a template like this with like the check boxes and stuff. It's so intriguing how it changes all the time. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's see, what is this called? Job description template. Okay. So we're going to like to keep this. Keep it. And I'm going to say, job description template. Why not? Okay. Now let's go to another brand new Word document. Straight from blank. And I can say, draft a job description using /job. Of course, it's not going to show up because I'm too fast. Add content right there. I don't know why it didn't show up in Context IQ initially. Click. Come on. There we go. As a template. I always say as a template. You need to indicate that to the AI and fill in the following information. And let's just go look at the template. Let's duplicate this back out. Actually, I'll just click on it. That's right. Job title, department. And let's just do like what salaries in here, bonus. So let's go in here. We'll say job role is an IT supervisor. Job description is works with AI teams to manage core workloads. And then we'll say a salary is $100,000. I'll just add it. Let's just see what it does. Let's just see what it does. All right. Okay. Oh, it's filled in a bunch of stuff. Look at that. This is why it's so important to read. You gotta read. You gotta figure. You gotta look and read. I mean, I can't explain it enough. But let's see. Hey, look, salary range 100,000. There's still fillable fields, right? Now, of course, if I had other files or content that included a lot of this information, I would just use that, reference that, say, take the information from this document, add it to this template as a template, draft a new job description. What I like to do for a lot of people, if you're doing anything with like job descriptions and such, I love the researcher agent. Oh dear lord, this thing is my this is my best friend right here. Research current job trends for an AI data scientist. I can type correctly. Job role in the Chicago, Illinois metropolitan area. Include job role information and requirements, and any additional details you believe would be valuable for this role and for me to understand. Now, general note, I'm doing a lot of fast prompting here. This is not normally how I do my prompting. I do more research about what exactly I want to include within this type of prompt. I'd build that with Copilot and then send it to researcher. I just want to show an example here. So I'm going to send this off, and we'll just let this run in the background for a little bit, right? Give it just a moment. Always look at the questions. Are there any specific companies hiring for this role? Yeah. Let's say companies hiring for this role are Microsoft, Google, and Meta. Details on salary ranges. I do want details on salary ranges. And then, are you interested in educational? I am interested in educational and experience requirements. I'm not even going to worry about, fixing spelling, whatever. It knows. It knows. As long as you don't misspell too much, it gets it. It semantically looks at your language. It understands what word you mean, even if you misspell. This is another reason why I love AI, because now I can just type really fast. I don't have to do like the exact keyword match search style system like legacy enterprise search based experiences did. I'll just let this run in the background. All right. So I would use this, get all this information, then include it within my job role template guide that I create, right? There might be other things like, hey, maybe I want to include company policies or the company handbook, which are mission, vision, values. There's a bunch of stuff that you can include, of course. I'm not an HR person, but I've worked with a lot of HR departments, so I've at least learned a little bit of what they prefer. Okay, great questions. Hopefully, Mark, this will help out a little bit within your experience as well. Yeah, Rini, I do agree. I don't know why we've taken some of the stuff away in Outlook, but I'm assuming it'll most likely eventually come back. So we'll have to wait and see. Uh, oh, Rini, yeah, and I do believe your comment on creating a SharePoint with the documents, building an agent as well to assist with that as a knowledge source. That would be useful, right? You could do that in a sense too. See, and that's the thing. So uh, sometimes a lot of people may think there's like one solution that you can move with, and that's the only solution. There's so many unique approaches and ways to leveraging AI, which again is a blessing and a curse, because I have so many options at my disposal. What's the best? Or what might be the best? And sometimes I'm just going to lean on what I know is best or what I believe is best and just try that out. Every time I prompt AI, I look at it as a new experiment. I'm trying something new. I'm doing something different. I'm changing something in my work. And that helps me stay grounded and not get frustrated with it. Don't get me wrong, I get frustrated with this thing sometimes because it just doesn't give me what I want. But a lot of times when it doesn't give me what I want, at the end of the day, honestly, it's probably me. I probably didn't prompt in the correct way, or I didn't include information that it needed or needed to use. It can't read your mind, right? So if it doesn't have all the detail required, it's going to make assumptions and it's going to give you some form of results back. But those results might be not be aligned to your expectations. So always something to consider. I always blame myself first before I blame the AI. Okay. Let's see. Looking through the comments. Irene, I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Thank you for the feedback. Very much appreciated. Happy the office hours here are helping everybody out. Makes me feel like I should do this. Plan is bi-weekly. I want to try to do this. Of course, I do have like evening meetings and such sometimes as well. So I'll do my best whenever I post out these office hours. I'll post them. I did only a few days, in advance this time. My goal is to try to do it like a week in advance. But of course, things are always subject to change. I do travel a lot for work as well. I know in October I'm going to be in Orlando working with some customers. I'll be on the East Coast, West Coast here over the coming months as well. So just some things to consider. Sometimes content might be lacking because of travel. I'm going to do my best to get as much out there as I can for all of you. Okay. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, hey, Mark. I don't. I know I put a post out. Put a post out for the live stream. If you try anything that I just shared with you, leave a comment on the post. Right, anything that I show all of you. I think probably the best way is leave a comment on the post that is for this live stream that I posted today. That way I can, I love feedback. I learn. I learn from my peers. I learn from my customers, from all the people around me. And all of you are going to have a different approach. And sharing your approach is critical to success. Because we all have blinders, we all have bias, right? It's built into who we are, how we've learned over time, our life and our educational experiences. That's the way we've structured our mind and have become who we are. But unfortunately, that means that we have the blinders on a lot and we don't see other ways that we could approach certain tasks or problems or work, especially in the AI ecosystem. So anything that you see as a result that provides value to you, please share, right? Because that's what I'm doing here. I'm sharing. I want to make sure that I can share as much as possible to give you all the key rich insights you need to be able to move forward in your job. Okay, let's see here. Cool. Great job description. Demetrius, welcome. Glad to see you here. Thanks for your comment. I'd like to use a company branded resume template to convert raw resumes. So this brings up a great topic as well when it comes to data formats. Word is not really good with this right now. Let's actually check something. Go into the message center here really quick. So again, this is the admin center. You have to have an admin role here. Let's go to message center. And let's filter down on Copilot. Let's see. You might see some key updates in here that you think are going to be pretty cool. There should be some data format updates. Let me do Word format, maybe. Don't see it. Don't see it in here. All right, well, here's what I'll indicate. When it comes to Microsoft Word experiences, Copilot doesn't do a really good job with maintaining the same format. Things like font family, styles, things of that nature. The brand, right? And so the way I look at the experience today is it can give me the textual data, and I need to align the textual data into the format that I require. So a little bit of manual work, right? Still saves me some time because AI generated a lot of the material that I reference and review and then use after I make modifications and changes. But it doesn't do well with formats in Word. That should be changing. I don't know exactly where the material may be. Maybe it's on our public roadmap somewhere. I don't know why this list isn't popping back up. There we go. You can see a few updates that should be coming out here in the not so distant future, but always keep in mind these are subject to change over time. But I know we're working on it. I know we're working on data formats in Word. All the formats, I don't know yet exactly how it's going to adhere to things, especially when it comes to like template use cases, things of that nature. But we are actively working through that. And of course, as we break down some of those additional barriers, it enables more use cases. It enables more process automation. It gets you through that process flow with your task work more quickly. A great example, let's go back here into Researcher. It's still working through. Let's create a duplicate tab here. Go to my chat history with Researcher. Something that I'm really looking forward to. Not this one. 1 second here. Sorry, everybody. Gotta find one. That was actually another job role review, but I don't want to show this one. I want to show this one. Do I have a Copilot page for this? I should have a Copilot page for this. I think this is actually the one I used for my video just the other day. Let's scroll down. No Copilot page. Let's create a Copilot page. I didn't pick this. A lot of times what I'm doing these days is I'm gaining a lot of knowledge information via Researcher. And I build presentations off of that I then use in some form. Now, I do, of course, I read. Always read. Don't ever trust, Researcher agent output, which it is very lengthy, so you have to be cautious there. And then, of course, I have to bridge the gap. I have to, add it to a Word document, and then reference that Word document to generate a presentation in PowerPoint. Here very soon, we're going to have another option in your Copilot page to just send it to PowerPoint. So I think that'll be really useful. I don't know how that's going to work, especially if you're doing like a company brand scenario. I'm still waiting for the feature. But, you're going to see these button clicks, more actionable things that you can do to automate that process and take out a step here, a step there. Saves you more time, right? Even if it's just a minute or two. Think about how much that time compounds, right? So some key things to consider. I know we're a little bit over the end time that I had, but I am very much enjoying talking with all of you. I am going to be ending the stream here soon. I want to make sure that I'm able to get some sleep. I have a long work day tomorrow, and I'm sure that all of you do too, right? Let's see some of the last messages here. I tend to use baseball to test new functions in Copilot and other LLMs. It's fun to check the results. Okay, all right. Baseball fanatic, right? That's okay. I do like hockey myself. I'm a big hockey fan. I love my video games. Pokemon, too. Love all that stuff. I like to talk about it. Where do you post the hours? So, Paul, if you're referring to the office hour live streams here that I plan to do, the hours specifically, let me see here. I need to switch my window. I don't have this ready for transition. Let's just do this. YouTube. N365 Copilot connection. And if I go into the channel, posts. Under the channel, I have my posts. So this was my post today for the office hours, right? So any feedback, things that you see, materials that I provided today that help you out within your job process. If you feel comfortable with sharing any of that information, leave a comment here directly on the post. And I read all the comments. I read every single comment, almost every day at this point. That might change over time. I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm so surprised that this channel has grown to over 4,000 subscribers in the amount of time that it has. It's a blessing to me. I do very much appreciate it. And yeah, I honestly, I can't believe it. I really can't. So, but yeah, any feedback, comments, recommendations, I want to look at how I can grow this out a little bit more to make feedback mechanisms more easily available to all of you than just comment sections in YouTube videos. I've tossed the idea of do I create a Discord, something like that? I don't know, right? A lot of ideas are still up in the air. I only commit to those ideas if I think that they are going to be valuable. So if I post anything out, you'll see it directly in the YouTube post for now. I'm not posting anything on social media channels or anything like that. So don't worry, it's all going to be via YouTube as a platform. So awesome. Hey, everyone, I think I'm going to end it for today. I do very much appreciate everybody's time. If you have any feedback, recommendations, anything that you need, let me know. Leave it on the post or comment on the video, whichever works for you. Otherwise, thank you all so much for your time, your energy, your questions. your engagement. I very much appreciate it. This is what I thrive on. I thrive on helping people. So thank you all so much. We'll see if we probably are going to do another one here in about 2 weeks. Same time, probably on Wednesday as well. And we'll move forward from there. So that's it for me, everyone, for today. Very much appreciate it. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time.